Alright, so I'm back, and today we're going to take a look at the DX9, what do they call him? I was just looking at it. Gabriel. This is their, Omega Supreme. This was the most recent reissue that just came out, just a little bit ago. Now, he cost... Dang. Okay. So, BBTS has him... the MSPR at $279.99. Currently, they've got him discounted down to $259.99. I purchased him. Let's see, when was this? Doesn't say. Late March, and that cost was at $219.99. But I also had store credit for about $50 or so. So this, all in all, this guy cost me about $170. And now he's about $260. So I think cost is important with this guy because when he came out, it was him or the Fans Toys. Now the Fans Toys one is probably close to $1,000 right now. Let's see here. I'm just gonna go on eBay. Fans Toys. I'm just looking. Well, the blue one's $1,600. If that helps. About $900. So, give or take, about $900. So, he is significantly cheaper. Now, as far as quality goes, we're going to take a look at that. But I will say this right now, I am very thankful that I am not doing the transformations anymore, just because I don't have the space for this. I honestly don't have the space for this figure as is, but I was talked into it by a friend. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I really don't have room for bots this big. This is why I've been avoiding the big combiners. But anyway, let's talk about him. So, this is going to be kind of a challenge just because of how big he is. Let's see. So he's mostly molded plastic. He does have paint accents on him, so like the yellow is a molded plastic, but there are some like painted yellow bits on the sides here. Like here. Although, actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think that might be plastic as well, just kind of different pieces plugged in. He's already dusty. And then, like, there's yellow paint here. This is paint for sure, like this going on here. So he's got some paint accents, but not a lot of paint on this guy. But overall, he looks pretty good. They built it in a way where there's enough breakup that it doesn't look super plain. Posability wise, his head is on a swivel, so you get the left and right. I thought and it does pull up, so you can pull it up. It gets a little bit down, good up, left and right. All of that works pretty well. You can flip it around, and he's got the little cannon that rotates up and down as well. So if I do anything off screen, please yell at your screen so that I can hear you on how to fix it. Because, that's how this works, right? But it makes you feel better, doesn't it? Alright, shoulders are on ratchets. They ratchet around. They are decent ratchets. I wouldn't call them perfect because, if you push it just right, it does that. Ratchets out to the side. That one's pretty good and solid. There is there a bicep swivel? Yeah, there's a bicep swivel, but it's super tight and very uncomfortable. I don't like to use it. Elbow rotates. The hand, this hand anyway, it's got a hinge and hinge, so you got a pretty good range of motion on that. I believe there are light up effects, but I don't have batteries in it, so just assume that they work fine. As for the other arm, kind of same deal. Ratchets at the shoulder and out. Biceps swivel, that's too tight. Bends at the elbow. And that's pretty much all this arm does. It does look like there's another light up feature in there. But again, I don't have batteries for it. Alright. Waist swivel. Is there an ab? Yeah, no ab crunch. Not much of a surprise there, though. Alright, and then for the legs, they rotate out to the side to there. But as you can see, they're too heavy for those ratchets. It's a big, heavy figure. You got little tiny hip skirts here, and then you can move the leg forward, but it's not really wanting to go. And it doesn't really want to go backwards either. It sounds like it kind of has a ratchet, but it doesn't seem to be working all that well. Knee does rotate. And then the foot has a rocker, and I can't really see a tilt. If it's there, it's super tight. So yeah. You know, there's not much else to go into since we're not doing the transformation. For size comparison, here he is with the Transform Element Prime. So scale-wise, I'd say he's probably a little too small, to be honest. But it really just depends on which scene you're watching from which episode. I'm exhausted. Moving that guy around is a lot of work. But anyway, he's a good figure. For the price especially. You know, price I paid $170, it's a fucking steal. If I don't see a reason to buy the Fans Toys one just because of the cost difference. If they were to reissue it at a $200 to $300 price point, then you know, maybe $300 to $400, then I would say then it's a battle. But you know, if you're like me and you have a little bit of a budget, this is a no-brainer. I'd give him probably an 8 out of 10. It would be a little bit lower if it wasn't so big and the value wasn't there. You know, I think some of the joints aren't working properly. I've heard some QC issues have been going on. Probably, I'm gonna guess with the joints, just because that like especially in those hips, that's a big fail point there. I mean, he looks good. He looks good. He does his part. He's got enough paint breakup, sculpt breakup, build breakup, you know, all that stuff, so he doesn't look like just this big plain piece of plastic. But still looks very Toon accurate. Fits with your Toon aesthetics, anyway. So yeah, I recommend him. I definitely would make sure that you don't pay over $300 for him. I don't see why you would, but that's where I would definitely put the solid. I wouldn't pay a dime over $300 price point for this guy. If you can get for low 200s to high 100s, then yes, highly recommend it. Mid 200s, then yeah, you know, go ahead, pick it up tentatively. You know, see if you have some credit or a coupon or something like that. But yeah, over 300, I wouldn't touch it. But otherwise, it's a pretty good figure. Holds together pretty well. Yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm super happy I'm not doing transformations with these guys because I do not have the patience today. So yeah, that's all I got.